What's good, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. You already know it's your host, Bando, and we back at it. We got a lot to discuss. To be honest with you, I can make either an extremely long episode right now or multiple different episodes on different topics. And I think I'm just going to do the multiple different episodes on different topics just so I can get some stuff out there. But this first one we got to go through is I haven't talked anything about the White House card since its announcements. So let's get into it. Let's waste no time. Let's smoke. All right, so like I said, welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. We are talking about this White House card, this UFC White House card. It was supposed to be and talked about and discussed to be one of the most stacked cards ever. Now, we didn't quite get what all the speculations and everything came out to. We got so many different rumors. I mean, we had rumors of talking about Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira, with Ilya versus Islam, Conor versus Michael Chandler, all on the same card. Like, we all knew it was all a stretch, right? A lot of the different things, we knew a lot of it was a stretch. And here's my biggest thing about this entire thing, right? I love the main event, Ilya versus Justin Gaethje. It was going to happen sooner or later within the next 3 or 5 months anyway, so why not put it on what is supposed to be one of the biggest cards? But we all know that possibility for Ilya and Islam was there, right? I'll talk about that in a second. The other possibility that really makes me think about this card is you cannot expect me to believe that Alex Pereira vacated his belt to move up to the heavyweight division to fight Cyril Gane. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, we already know Dana White had him believing there was a different fight in place, right? And Cyril Gane was just that, hey, we'll throw this one in there as a last resort. We need to get Alex on this card. I promise you, Dana says, oh, we didn't offer anything to Jon. Jon was never an option for this. Stop it, right? There's no way you told Alex Pereira, like, hey, we want to bring you up to the heavyweight division and we're going to put you up against Cyril Gane. No disrespect to Cyril, right? But, like, multiple chances to win the belt. Couldn't get it done, right? Happens, right? A lot of guys have been in multiple chances, couldn't get it done. Did he deserve another chance? In my opinion, no, right? Would have been different if he had another fight in between and it was a great performance or something like that. But he hasn't had another fight in between since the Tom Aspinall fight. You know, it's one of those things where it's a very weird one. You can't expect me to believe that was what Alex Pereira moved up to the heavyweight division for, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you told me Jon Jones was the guy that Alex was supposed to fight, and that's who Dana was telling Alex, like, hey, you're going to move up, we got you, Jon Jones, makes sense. I don't believe he moved up to fight Cyril Gane. There's no way. And the thing that kills me with Ilya and Islam is it's the fight that we all want, man. It's one of the biggest fights you can make in MMA right now. Like, you might not be able to get any bigger than that besides maybe Alex Pereira and Jon Jones. Everybody wants to see Ilya versus Islam because Ilya poses a different threat than a lot of the other guys that Islam has fought. And not only that, you're talking about number 1 pound for pound versus number 2 or number 3 pound for pound. Run it. Run it. We want to see that. But rumors had it that Ilya turned down a fight. Always comes from Ali. Ali always likes to say that the other fighter turned down a fight, when meanwhile everybody knows your man is nursing a wrist injury or hand injury or something, whatever the case may be, right? Hand, wrist injury. I see both bouncing around, but something in that area is broken, and that's why he couldn't fight. But then you post a video of him hitting the bag, and he was hitting that bag full blast. Don't look like nothing injured to me. All I'm saying is, if Islam's not the guy running from that fight, Ali is the one avoiding making that fight a possibility because he does not want to see Islam in that fight. I promise you, he does not want to see him in that fight. That's the most dangerous fight for Islam Makhachev in all of the UFC. Right, he could fight anybody in that welterweight division. There is not one person in that welterweight division that makes a ton of noise that is a threat. The only one that really was a threat at one point was Shavkat, and now Shavkat is becoming the next Zabit, just another what if now. And the thing with Ilya is Ilya has such the confidence is he's not talking about fighting this fight at 155. He's talking about fighting this fight at 170. That's confidence right there. That's confidence. But let's get into this full card real quick. UFC Freedom 250. I don't know if they have anything for any prelims or anything like that. But opening the main card, you got Diego Lopez going up against Steve Garcia. Now, I know this doesn't sound like a matchup that everybody would be hyped to see. Doesn't sound like a matchup where I know a lot of people are saying back, who's Steve Garcia? Listen, don't count the man out. That man's got mitts. That man can box. He's got power in his hands. And guess what? He's there to stand and bang. There is nothing else. He's there to stand and bang. He's going to trade with you. So you're talking about possibly one of the most exciting fights on this card is opening the card. These two are going to go at it. They're going to meet in the middle, and they're going to scrap. If you watch the fight that Steve Garcia put on against Calvin Kattar, he showed that he has skill set and an IQ to be able to get wins like that. And if you look at his other fights, you see that he's got the power in his hands. He's got great boxing, and he's not scared to get hit. Diego Lopez, we already know, savage, willing to meet in the middle, willing to trade, always ready for a fight. Doesn't matter where the fight goes, he's always ready for a fight. Even if he's fighting a guy that's one step ahead of him, like Volkanovski, he's still good, right? He's still good. And I think Diego Lopez needs guys like Volkanovski. He needs those losses in his career to help him improve more and more. I think he is like almost one step above most of the featherweights, but just one step under Volkanovski still. And that's it. It's not saying nothing bad. I mean, it's Alexander Volkanovski. It's Alexander the Great Volkanovski. It makes sense. You know, a lot of people in that featherweight division fall beneath him. Right? It was surprising that Ilya was able to do what he did. That's why Ilya's rise right now. The hype that Ilya has, it's not even hype. It's real. It's like it's the real deal. But the fact that so many people are behind Ilya, it started with that. Right, that really kicked it into gear. People were like, "Oh shit, okay." One, he called this shot. He called this shot one. He was super confident. 2 and 3. That's Volk. That's Volk. So, but Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia is going to be an action-packed fight of two guys meeting in the middle, going for a scrap. So this is actually. It's wild because there's two guys that I don't think Steve Garcia is American. I think Steve Garcia is Mexican. Oh, no, he's from America. All right, so we do have an American opening the card. I was going to say, it would seem weird that you would have a Mexican and a Brazilian opening the card. Not saying anything bad. Don't be getting all jumping at my neck. I'm saying, you got the White House card. You would think it'd be like super Americanized. I wouldn't even expect, I didn't even expect to see somebody like Diego Lopez on this. I expected this card to have the Colby Covingtons, the Bo Nichols, the Michael Chandlers, kind of like what we got, you know, even though we didn't get Colby. I don't really care if we did or didn't. There's not been any performance of Colby's besides the 2 Usman fights that I've sat through and said, damn, that was exciting. But no, Steve Garcia putting out for America, Diego Lopez putting out for Brazil. But at the end of the day, that fight is for the fans. They're going to meet in the middle, and they're going to scrap. So even though you might not, some of the most casual fans might not know Steve Garcia's name, the White House card is when you're going to learn his name. Then you go on to Bo Nickal versus Kyle Dawkins. I honestly, I don't understand why this one's even on the main card. Like, for supposed to be one of the biggest, this is on the main card? This don't need to be on the main card. I can't even tell you which way this fight's really going to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those fights where probably Bo's going to get majority of the control. If he doesn't get an early finish, he's going to get a decision win. Right? I mean, I just don't see a way that Kyle Dawkins is able to get this one done. Unless he's able to piece him up on the feet early, get to him quick before Bo's able to get comfortable and start shooting. Maybe, but I don't know. Do we really need to see Bo Nickal and Kyle Dawkins? No, but seriously, like, it seems like it's a matchup for Bo Nickal to go in and win. It's going to be the only one where it's not two guys meeting. And look, I'm not saying that Bo is one of those guys that's kind of like just a shoot for the legs, hold, lay and pray. He's not that type of fighter, right? But he's a very dominant wrestler. So when push comes to shove, he's going to go to his art. He's going to go what he's best at, and that's his wrestling. And you can't take that away from him. He has dominant wrestling. So if he gets in trouble on the feet with Kyle Dawkins, for sure, you're going to see some groundwork. I don't think you're going to see extremely boring groundwork, but you're definitely going to see some groundwork. It's going to be the one fight on the card where you really do see some ground action. Moving on, you got Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Look, Michael Chandler's going to come off with the blitz, right? And that's kind of his best option. His best option is to put Mauricio Rufy on his back foot, not allow him to have any type of, I don't know, set. Like you can't let him get set. You can't let him get clean where he's able to set his stance and throw some fancy shit that he throws, right? Because it's not just fancy stuff. When it lands, it's a kill shot. So Michael Chandler, his best bet is to kind of bum rush, is to be very pressure heavy, put Mauricio Rufy in positions that are uncomfortable. I know everybody is expecting Rufy to go out there, and I kind of am too, to go out there and just get a quick win. But at the same time, when you look at it, how dangerous the style of Michael Chandler is for somebody like Rufy, keeps his hands down, right? He's very like, I don't know how to say it. He's very like calm and relaxed with his movements, but his hands are down. He's still able to get hit. And the way that Michael Chandler is, he's the absolute opposite from calm with his movements. He is chaos and is explosive right off rip. So I could see him bum rushing, putting it very similar to what he did to Dan Hooker, right? Getting Rufy to circle out, because Rufy's gonna end up circling out, and if Chandler's bum rushing him, and I don't see Chandler wrestling. It's very possible he does, but I don't see him wrestling. But I could see him landing something nasty on the circle out. I could see different situations like that. I see a very similar fight to what happened with Dan Hooker. I thought Dan Hooker was going to have that fight no problem. Michael Chandler being a strong wrestler, he fights with his hands down. He's kind of always bouncing in, and Dan Hooker has great knees up the middle, good kicks up the middle. I thought Dan was going to end up landing something and getting a win, but he got him to circle out, pressured him, faked to the body, came over the top, knocked him out. And I could see something like that happening to Mauricio Rufy. But then I could also see that the Michael Chandler's already on a bit of a fall. This could be like the stamp on that if Rufy goes out there and gets the finish the way that Rufy does, So it could go either way, but I'm just saying to all those people that are really throwing Michael Chandler down as the underdog. I get he's the underdog anyways, but you burying him as the underdog, do not sleep on that style, because styles make fights, and that is a nasty style for somebody like Mauricio Rufy, who is never, if you really look at it, he's never fought anybody with that style, that pressure-heavy style. Now, he's got Jean Silva in his camp, I think. I don't know if he still does. I know there was a lot of problems with the fighting nerds there and stuff, but if he has him, that's somebody that can help with the pressure, but it's very hard to mimic the style of Michael Chandler, that bouncing with his hands out here, and he just chucks over top. You can't, it's hard to time that overhand that he throws. He throws it at different angles. He throws it at different timing. It almost looks like he's going to go for a takedown, and he's coming with an overhand right. So he's just dangerous, and Rufy's got to be very careful. Obviously, I'm not giving any predictions until we get closer to the fight and I do a full breakdown, but I'm just giving like a preview prediction of what I might think might happen, what could potentially happen. But everything changes the closer you get to it. You start seeing how guys are in their training camps. You start seeing how guys are during the fight week, and everything changes. But that's going to be a very interesting fight. It could be a fight that's 1 round. It could be a fight that is 3 rounds. It could be a fight that's very, very action-packed. It could be a fight that's weird. One that's weird. You got a guy who's very, I don't know. I think Michael Chandler trained so much for Conor McGregor and the style of Conor McGregor that he might be good going into this fight. It's not that Rufy's got the same style as McGregor, but that same relaxed, calm sniper style. Michael Chandler's been training for it, so it's not like it's a completely different mix of styles that he's had to rearrange and retrain for. So I'm interested. I'm interested in that fight. Then we got the co-main, or not the co-main event. We got the next fight is Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. I get why this fight is happening. Rankings wise, it makes sense. It could potentially be an exciting fight, but it also could potentially be a fight for Sean to get that KO win. He needs a KO when he needs one of them wins again. He hasn't had one of them wins. He needs one of them wins again. It's a potential that this could be one of those. But then Ayman Zahabi comes out of nowhere and finds some way to win a decision. Pisses me off every time that he truly loses the decision. He gets the win on the decision. But here's the thing about Ayman Zahabi. He's got somebody in his corner. One of the best coaches in the game. Okay? His brother is one of the best coaches in the game. Firas Zahabi is a looking back at all the different victories with George St. Pierre, it's hard to not put him up there as one of the best coaches in the game, probably of all time. But you're talking about somebody who's going to be able to dissect the style of Sean O'Malley and be able to find ways to help Ayman get the W, right? If Sean doesn't get an early finish, I think the adjustments from Ayman Zahabi, right, from that corner could end up making the fight what will end up being more of a boring fight, but a fight that Ayman Zahabi gets the control of. Sean's got to go out there and be the sniper that Sean is. Sean's got to get a knockout. And Sean's got to do it early. It's got to be a fancy, quick, nasty knockout early, and that's his best bet. I don't want to see this fight go 3 rounds unless this fight is going to be something of a yeah, so it's one of those fights where Sean has to be the sniper that the way he's best at. He's got to go out there and get the finish, because if Zahabi's able to make the different adjustments that he has to make, he might be able to get it done. I would probably end up even closer to the fight. I'll probably still be leaning towards Sean, but that it could be an exciting fight, could be a boring fight. I don't know which way that's going to go. Honestly, it's a weird one. I did not expect that fight at all to be on this card. I feel like that was a thrown together. Like this card feels thrown together last second. Like this doesn't feel like it's something that's been being prepped for as long as they've talked about. It seems like it just got thrown together. But either way, moving on. Co-main event, Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. Like I said, doesn't make sense. I don't believe Alex Pereira moved up to heavyweight to take that fight. You cannot convince me that is what was told. He either was told that it was going to be Tom Aspinall or John Jones. There's no way he moved up for Cyril Gane. There's no way. There's no fucking way. You can't make me believe that shit. You cannot make me believe that. You could try. You can put an attempt to it. You can go ahead and throw some effort in that motherfucker. But I ain't buying what you're selling. Why the fuck does Cyril Gane keep getting these chances, man? He gets a lot of opportunities. And I'm not even hating on him, but he gets a lot of opportunities. It's going to be an interesting fight. To see Alex at heavyweight, very interesting fight. Is he going to come out same Alex at light heavyweight? Is he going to, from the training videos, now you can only take so much from somebody hitting pads, but when he hits the pads, it sounds louder. It looks more powerful. He's looking big. Could be good, but Cyril Gane, natural heavyweight, natural big heavyweight. Let's see. It depends on how Cyril takes the training camp. I feel like if Cyril takes training camp serious and really puts the effort in trying to be a champion, he could be a champion. But it doesn't seem like he really cares if he wins or loses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. He needs this win because if he loses this one, he ain't never getting another shot. He going to have to win like 6 in a row to get it. And I'm talking about 6 in a row, 6 KOs, nasty shit to get a title shot again, because there is no way that he gets another. That'd be crazy if he did. If he loses this fight and he gets another, I'll be absolutely shocked. Unless this fight is a war or some shit and you need to run a second one back. But no. And then the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. People are writing this off as this is Justin Gaethje getting cracked. And let me tell you something. I'm not somebody who always sticks super confident to one fighter. I try to be, but every time I do, they let me down, right? If Justin Gaethje fights the way he fought against Paddy Pimblett, I am extremely confident that Ilia Topuria can get that KO. Right. Now, not just because Ilia is this big personality and stuff like that, and somebody who's growing and like just becoming very famous within the game, right? He's almost like a mythical fighter type thing right now, right? He's got that aura to him. If that man lands on the chin clean and Justin Gaethje just overthrowing those right hands and left hands and overthrowing hooks the way he was doing against Paddy, he's going to sleep. People talk about the wrestling of Justin Gaethje. Okay, cool. Justin really doesn't wrestle. Yeah, he's a great wrestler, but doesn't really wrestle. Doesn't utilize his wrestling at all. Very rarely does he utilize his wrestling. And then not only that, did we not see Ilia Topuria put Charles Oliveira in a crucifix? Like it was nothing. It was easy. Not only that, it wasn't just easy. It was easy for him to take him down and put him in a crucifix. Ilia Topuria is a problem in any which way that this fight goes. So Justin Gaethje has to fight his best fight. Now, I think anytime a fighter's in there, they got to fight their best fight. You want to fight your best fight. Ilia's got to fight a great fight because Ilia doesn't want to end up going to war with someone like Justin Gaethje. Now, Max put the pressure on him. He stood in there with Max. He dealt with the pressure. He ended up outlasting Max, finding the shot, getting Max out of there. Justin Gaethje's a different fighter. He's going to put a lot of pressure on you, a lot of pressure on the lower half, throwing heavy leg kicks, stuff like that. But here's the thing. The IQ of Ilia Topuria is not going to allow Justin Gaethje to have success in his best places. Justin's going to have to find different realms to win this fight. Ilia's got to find that chin. And if Justin's throwing willy-nilly, he's going to get knocked out. I mean, it's just that simple. Any of us fight fans would read it that way, right? Doesn't mean that Justin can't knock him out. We've seen Justin. Justin could crack. Justin could kick. Justin could punch. Justin is dangerous. There is no doubt at all that Justin Gaethje is a dangerous fighter. He's not just a dangerous fighter in terms of KO. He's a dangerous fighter at taking you to war. If he takes you into deep water, in his pool is very hard to swim in. You know what I'm saying? And there is no lifeguards. Especially when he is winning in his world, it's hard to slow his pace down and start beating him, start coming back. Even if you had him in the first round, he starts to get comfortable in the second and third. It's hard to come back in 4 or 5 because he's just in the zone, right? So he is still dangerous, but if he fights the way he fought against Paddy Pimblett, he's going to sleep. I don't see it any other way. Ilia hits too hard. He's too accurate. He's got way too much confidence in his power, in his hands, in his skill set. It's going to be a very tough fight, but someone's going to sleep. That's all I'm saying. I don't see this being a 5-round war. Somebody is 110% going to sleep. But that's it for my White House card episode. Until the next one, until we get to the time where we got to start breaking down and really previewing and talking about things, really getting more in depth than I did today. I talked a little bit about it, but like I said, things are going to change once I watch some videos. I got to watch some highlights, go back, break things. You know how it goes. But it's a decent card. It's not as good as I expected it to be, but at the same time, if this was just a regular UFC pay-per-view, it'd be pretty stacked, except for Bo Nickel and Kyle Dawkins. Honestly, the fight that would have been perfect in that slot right? You have it in I don't know if it's on this weekend's card or in a couple, or it's in a couple weeks. The next pay per view, April's pay per view. Joaquin Buckley versus Sean Brady would have been perfect on this card instead of Bo Nickel and Kyle Dawkins. That's all I'm saying. That would have been perfect on the, you put, American versus American. You want to get American guys on the card, makes sense. You put those two, that would have been a perfect fight, in my personal opinion. That's all I'm saying. But that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando is out. Peace.